Hello and welcome. Today we are having a Caverion's Q4 result interview with Caverion CEO Jacob Götzsche. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you very much.
We'll go through the Q4 results and also 2021 results for Caverion. First, Jacob, can you describe in your own words how the Q4 and 2021 went for you?
Overall, as we just announced, we are very pleased with the performance in Q4. And the reason is that we delivered a solid result and earnings of adjusted EBITDA of 30.1 million and 5.1% of the turnover. And then our cash also strongly rebounded after we had a little bit of soft Q3. And we also talked about that, and Matti also alluded to it in our Q3 presentation, that there was all the uncertainty with the corona coming back, etc. And therefore, we are very pleased with our strong Q4, also ending up, in our opinion, a very solid result for the year of 87.7 million euro and a margin of 4.1%.
When we look at the adjusted operating profitability, it was quite on a good level. Can you describe or explain what kind of what made your quarter results so good?
As I said before, our people is the key to success. And I've said it before, I think our more than 14,000 people have done a stunning job. We have to remember it's a lot of sickness, there's been a lot of infections, but also isolation where the families have been able to support our people to come to the work every day and also service our customers. And that's the result we see in Q4. It's really a dedication and hard work from all our employees, and also our operators, our teams, our leaders has also stepped up here and shown the way by lead by example. And that's really the reason why people is the core. If you have the people, if they're educated, if they go to the customers, we can also earn money on what we do, because it is really important for our customers. So I think that's the key. And then of course a good operational control from our leaders, that we ensure what we do is also with the right productivity, with the right prices. And if you have that, then the mix, it all ends up with a good result. And I think that's what we have seen in Q4.
One highlight was the growing order book in a quarter. If I remember correctly, 3/4 of growing order book after the Q4. When can you expect this to materialize on the top level, on the revenue side? Your revenue was growing 1% on Q4. And on this note, you can also comment on the market situation in projects and services businesses.
Yeah, but it's a very good question. And that's the reason why we have increased, in my mind, our guidance also to include turnover. So from last year, where we were only commenting on the bottom line, now we are also guiding you on the top line. And here we say we will grow compared to this year. And it's despite that we have also divested our Russian business. So even though that we have done this divestment, we are still confident with all the uncertainty of Corona, because none of us know how it will develop. But touch on wood and cross fingers, we believe that we will still be able to grow our top line. When we grow our top line, it's also easier to deliver on the bottom line. First of all, it gives a positive sentiment in the company that motivates and energizes people that we are growing. And therefore, I think that's what you can expect. And of course, our KPIs with the order backlog, known production for the next year, has of course supported us in our belief that we will be able to grow in 2022.
All right. You made some acquisitions during the year and in Q4 also. And can you describe what kind of businesses did you acquire during the year, and how is the outlook for the M&A activity during this year?
In Caverion, we are in a very good place, and as Marty also described, with our liquidity, our covenants, and we just refinanced our funding. We have a lot of firing power, and the reason why we do M&A is simply to say, when we look at our business platform, it's from a group point of view, but it's also from a local point of view. Is there some capabilities where we can serve our customers in a better way? So do we have a customer where we need to deliver ventilation, cooling, or are we weak in a certain area? Then we want to increase our capabilities and competences, because what we sell is our people, it's our service, and it's our projects. So therefore, if we can sell more to the customer, our top line will grow. And the reason why we do the M&A is to accelerate our growth. And this is also something we will talk more about on the Capital Market Day on the 10th of May. What is our ambitions within the M&A field? Because we think we have our market is growing. And we also saw that the sentiment in the market is very positive. So from the deepest of the COVID, the graphs is now showing that the business environment, the markets are doing pretty well. And that's a very good position to be in as a company. We don't need to invent the blue ocean. We are so small in nearly all countries that we have a huge potential still to grow.
Right. And we move to the guidance and the outlook part of the report. How would you describe the market outlook when we look at the services and project business? You said in the report that the outlook is positive overall.
Yeah. And it's again coming back to the sentiment. I think there's also some psychological effect that we have been through 2 very tough years as human beings and also as a society. And I think just that we maybe can see the end, again, touch on wood, because we don't know, but at least some countries are lifting restrictions. We can start to see the first signs in Denmark, in Copenhagen area, capital area. We have now seen that some areas, they get immunity. So that gives us hope that also that we can come back to more normal levels of business activity. I have to say, both in service and in projects, there's a high activity level. But again, as I said, we are selective. We don't want to grow just for growing. We want to create sustainable growth and profitable growth.
All right. And on your guidance, you guide revenue growing and also adjusted profitability growing this year. What are kind of the market or uncertainties relating to this guidance? We have seen these price pressures in this field, and also this kind of, not say lack of resources, but kind of you cannot get the materials that you want in that time that you want. Can you describe these kind of uncertainties and how they relate to your guidance and the outlook?
Yeah, I think price pressure, that's just part of life in our business. So it's about the value proposition we can give to our customers. Do they value? Do they trust us? Do they see us as a more reliable partner when they order something for us? That's what the customer tells us, that they value that we are a reliable technical maintenance partner and also doing projects for them. The second thing is, of course, as you allude to, the uncertainty. And there's a lot of uncertainty right now in the market. You have seen inflation going up overnight, and nobody expected the inflation to go up. Inflation in itself is, of course, not bad, but short term, it have an impact on the material prices. We have also seen, due to Corona, some supply shortage. And of course, all the combination of this uncertainty in the market, it's not specific for Caverion. It's for the industry in general and for the business environment. That, of course, makes us a little bit cautious to say, okay, our guidance is that we have an aim every year to improve our targets. And therefore, that's the reason why we have said we want to grow the turnover, but we also want to grow the bottom line.
All right. Lastly, just to summarize in thoughts, you have been the CEO of Caverion for half a year now, about. Yeah. You have probably seen the bigger picture of Caverion as you've been there. Can you summarize what are kind of the Caverion strengths and what Caverion can improve on in the future?
The first thing is that we can always improve, and all companies can improve. And the day where you say you cannot improve, then you should do something else. However, I would say after 6 months, I have said it before, I'm impressed about the dedication, the loyalty, but also the capabilities of our employees. I meet a lot of employees, and every time I get surprised about when you look into their eyes, the proudness and the quality they deliver every day. And that's what will take us to the next level. Because as I said before, also with acquisitions, if you have a good home when you take over people, then they will stay with you. And I meet people who have been here 30, 40 years and still smiling. And that's really the DNA of Caverion. We have quite happy people. Of course, they're not happy every day, but in general, we see with our surveys. And that's what I think will take us. Of course, then we will also follow the mega trends. And the mega trend is, despite everybody says it is sustainability. Can we offer products, services that is more sustainable to reduce the CO2 emission? That's core for all of us, both as a company, as a CEO, but also as human beings, that we have a planet that we can all live on. And then digitalization, why are we focusing on that? There's two sides of this. First of all, internally, our productivity, measuring what we are doing is important. Automation in the process of delivering service and projects is very important for us. So we have a quite good IT backbone. How can we utilizing our Power BI and all the stuff to be even more productive in the future? The customer side of this is that everybody, not everybody, but a lot of our customers are also promising that they will reduce their CO2 emission. So they also want us to give the data so they can feed it in to their ESG numbers. And therefore, digitalization is important. You can also call it technology. You can also call it transparency and measurement. And that's the reason why we focus on it so heavily. And then on top of this, when we look at these three things, and now I show 4 fingers, but if you look at these three things, our people, digitalization, and sustainability, I think we have an extremely strong platform also to deliver customer experience. And what we do should always be relevant for our customers. Happy customers, happy employees, happy shareholders.
That sounds good. Thank you, Jacob, for the interview.
You're welcome.